Hello, hello. Happy Wonderland Wednesday and welcome to Alicyn's Wonderland, the show that takes you into the wild and wonderful world of animation and video games. We are in a new location today, enjoying this beautiful day here in Southern California. I'm so excited about the show tonight. We have Carlos Alazraqui is going to be our special guest. He is the Annie Award-winning, BTVA Award-winning, Emmy-nominated voice actor, man of many talents. He's also an on-camera actor, a stand-up comedian, a producer, with an amazing film that just came out. And we're going to talk all about his career and what inspires him and everything that makes Carlos tick. So Carlos is one of my inspirations. He is definitely one of the top voice actors in Los Angeles. His body of work, I mean, it's a pool of work. It is just giant. So I'm so excited to bring him to you guys tonight. I want to give a shout out real quick to everybody that's joining live. Swirly Imagination Studios and Issa Jr. Hunter, always a pleasure. I'm glad your power didn't run out. Brickman Mosaic, good to see you. Chris Brown, Jonathan, hey, Gamebox Chi, Allison Packard Band, Matt the Lost, Sean Burton Voices, CV, Joe Shirey, Poppy Greens, Christopher, Cole, Jazly, Reek, Blue Eyes, M. Chandri. Oh my gosh, such a good crowd today. Just a quick heads up. There is a question box in the bottom, and if you guys have questions for Carlos or anything pops up, go ahead and put them in the question box. We don't engage as much with the stream channel down below because the audio from this show is going to be rebroadcast into the podcast version of Alicyn's Wonderland, which is available anywhere you listen to podcasts. So go ahead and subscribe for that anywhere you can. And thank you guys so much for joining in live. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves, add questions in the block, and I will try to keep it moving. So let's welcome Carlos Alazraqui. Here we are in the backyard, by the way.
Oh, we're on.
Hi.
We're on.
How's it going, Carlos?
Good for my shadowy little den here in the backyard garage.
I am usually in my shadowy den, and the light is so bad in my den. Your light actually looks good.
I know. I got to futz with it a little bit, and you might get glare from glasses, but that helps me read the comments. So.
Yes. Yes.
How are you? By the pool, I imagine, right?
Yes. It is covered up, but I'm sitting here just enjoying the last few rays of the sunshine. To be determined whether or not I will get eaten alive by mosquitoes, because the last time I did this was the very first episode I ever did with Mike Hollinsworth, and I got eaten alive. I was like, but I feel like they haven't really kicked in yet. So
yeah, well, good to see you.
Mr. Crocker, good to see you too. A lot of comments coming through the Carlos.
Yes.
What's up, Carlos? Mr. Crocker. Hi, Carlos.
Damn, Jimmy Turner. Fairies.
You guys feel free to we're going to save a few minutes for questions at the end, so if you have them, go ahead and put them in the question box down below. Carlos, how was your day?
Pretty good. Few auditions. I actually went out to the park with my mom, visited her. She's nearby in a senior living place, and did my auditions. I got them in. It was a pretty light day, so not bad. I was playing catch with my daughter out in front, and it's a big audition house. We always have like a backdrop up, and we got the ring light, and so she's preparing for an audition. I was helping her read lines, and pretty easy today. So fun day.
Are both of your kids actors?
Yes, they both are actually. They both were on Summer Camp Island, and now Riley. It's been announced Riley's on Prodigy, Star Trek Prodigy, playing Rock Talk, and Austin just did an Apple TV episode with Will Ferrell in Will Ferrell's new show about a therapist who manipulates a family of Will Ferrell, and Will plays her uncle. So she has a scene in that, and kids are doing fine.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I realized I should probably have my earbuds. How's my audio?
Your audio sounds good to me. But
right.
What do I know?
I won't futz with it. So Carlos, I was like doing my research, and there was so much more about you that I didn't even know, like that you were the voice of Chuck E. Cheese. I mean,
I don't know where that happened. I can't recall what that was, but if it says I did it, I guess I did it. It was so
Internet
long
says.
ago.
The internet says. Yeah, and I was just kind of, I was wondering, I knew you grew up in Concord, California. Can you tell us a little bit about your childhood and what kind of kid you were growing up?
Yeah, I actually literally a kid named Carlos Alazraqui, whose parents were from Argentina, won the All-American Boy Award in high school. But I had a paper route. I was a jock. I played anything that had like a ball or a football or a baseball. I was playing that sport. We were playing hide and seek. We were always outdoors. I was on the swim team. I did swim practice. I was swimming for 8 hours a day during the summer. I played football. I ran track.
Wow.
I was just a jock kid that watched a lot of TV and did a lot of impressions. And I was saying yesterday on TikTok that my early voiceover kind of career was shaped by my mom's Argentinian accent. No me digas, Carlitos, vos querés pollo. And then my best friend, Kevin, his parents were from Scotland, and Uncle Danny was always over there. And Auntie Les was there as well, Carlos. And so I just heard all these voices, and my mom had Russian friends. Linda Blasinko, Carlos, where are you going? So I just had all these sounds coming at me. But I was a typical suburban kid. I played sports. I had a paper route. I did sleepovers. We teepeed houses. Blue collar neighborhood, just a blue collar, Concord, California. Concord High School, played football. How much do you bench, Carlos? I was a total jock. And then I didn't get into comedy until college.
Yeah, so what was it that kind of brought you down the path towards stand-up?
I had a professor, Ernie Olson, at Sacramento State, and I was majoring in recreation administration. And I was going to either run a sports club, or at the time he was going to run a ropes course near Murrieta, California, right by Sacramento. And that was for corporate recreation, which was big. In other words, corporations needed better health and better production from their employees. And they discovered that if they gave them an hour to go out and do challenging things like ropes courses and trust falls, that this increased their productivity and business. And so they set up a ropes course, and I was going to be the guy, because of my comic background, that was going to take people through these ropes courses, but they couldn't get insurance at the time. And so it fell through, and I started doing mime, and then mime branched itself. Yeah.
That's funny. So
we were part of the
from ropes course host to
Leisure Time Mime Company. Is when we would perform at schools for children of the deaf, schools we would perform at, deaf children schools, actually, sorry. So we would perform at places like that. And we would, and then that branched off into stand-up comedy. And I started in stand-up comedy in 85, 86. And then I became part of a duo at a place called the Metro Bar and Grill, where a young Brian Posehn used to show up, 12th and K in Sacramento. And then I did hosting comedy by myself at a place called Laughs Unlimited. And then in 1987, I moved to San Francisco with my buddy John Boyle into a converted garage apartment with Boris, the landlord. And I was working at 2 different health clubs and doing comedy at night. And in 1991, there was an opportunity for this show called Rocko's Moated Life. And I met George Maestri and Nick Jennings and Joe Murray in a house. They didn't want Australian. They didn't
in a house?
want...
Wait. You said in a house?
In a house. It's in the garage in near Sutro Towers. But there was a big long... I didn't have an agent. And there's a big long line of people coming out of the garage auditioning for this project called Rocko's Modern Life. Wow. My manager, Tracy Forrester at the time, now Tracy Forrester Hayden, said, I got you this audition because I know the producer, Mark McNamara from San Francisco State. He's a professor there. And, somebody likes to hear the Scottish accent and the Australian accent as well. So I went, and they go, we don't want this guy, this Wallaby is from Australia. We don't want to hit the nail on the head. So we want like a Bruno Kirby, like, yeah, I'm funny too. I tell jokes. I'm really funny. And so I did stuff like that. And then I did Woody Allen, like, I got a pouch. I'm a marsupial. And it wasn't working. And the audition, first of all, I nailed Spunky, who was the crazy dog behind me right there. And Nick Jennings said, you are going to be Spunky. So I knew I had a job, right? I knew I was Spunky. And all of a sudden we started talking about Gene Wilder, and I said, you are not. Do you want to talk about strength? Do you want to talk about the Olympian ideal? And listen to me. You are not evil. You are good. And that cracked them up. That kept me in the room. And we opened up a vacuum manual, and I just made up something because he's really teethy and jowly. If I can tilt up, see, he's got the teeth there. And I just said, when you're when you plug in the unit, make sure that everything is attached. And they're like, oh, that sounds kind of good. So I did a couple of lines like that. And they sent it off to New York. And they said, yeah, this is the guy we want to make a pilot with. And there was a little studio called Poolside Studios on the flat part of Lombard Street in San Francisco at Lombard and Steiner, right by Mel's Diner. It's no longer there. And we did the pilot of, I think it was Suck-O-Matic, or it's the one where Spunky throws the stuff up into the bathtub. And we did a pilot, and about maybe 6 months later, they said, yeah, we're going to go to a series. So that was 1991.
And
so
that was
San
Francisco.
Yeah, I was living in San Francisco.
Amazing.
I didn't have an agent, and then I called everybody and said, it was one of those things where like, hi, my name is Carlos Alazraqui, and I'm looking for an agent. Yeah, so-and-so's not here yet. Yeah, I'm the voice of Rocko for this Nicola. Hold on. Hello. So I wined and dined, and I ended up going with Arlene Thornton and Associates, and my daughter's there. Both my daughters are there now. And 17 years later, I'm now with another agency, DPN, but Arlene really took care of me for those first 17 years. And Rocko was my ticket in, you know? It was my ticket in. It was my very first thing.
That's a pretty big ticket.
Yeah.
You know?
And I had the benefit of being a stand-up comic. So we were talking the other day about creating characters. We were creating characters on stage, you know? And so I had dialects in my arsenal because of the Scottish friends, because of watching Monty Python, Ripping Yards, the Two Ronnies, Faulty Towers, all that stuff. You know, I had the British stuff, I had the Scottish stuff, I had the Argentinian stuff. In Australia, when I first did Rocko, he was really flattened out. He's like, oh, buddy, small dogs and trash are not a part of a balanced diet. And they said, that's a little too hard to understand, so let's cockney it up and take out the Australian flat sound. But I actually bought a tape that told you how to like to flatten your tongue, bring your tongue to the top of your nose, and kind of flatten out your A's and your B's, and try to do this like this to make an Australian accent. So that's how I kind of learned it.
Yeah. You said before that you often work with dialect coaches to ensure that the accents that you get are correct, and that's important to you. Are there other things that you do to prepare for a role?
Well, I'll tell you, it's for Duggard, who I did on Dragon's Rescue Riders. I know I have that Scottish accent, but to prepare, I listened to John Fratelli from the Fratellis. If you've ever heard of that group, Chelsea Dagger, all kinds of tunes, but he's got a great voice. He's got his tune. And I watched Robsy Nesbitt, starring Gregor Fisher, who, if anybody has ever seen Love Actually, Gregor Fisher is the actor who plays the manager of the singer. I think it's, what's his name? John Rye's. He's in all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. But Gregor Fisher is the guy that plays the manager. 5 minutes, Elton John is as gay as a swan. So he has a series called Robsy Nesbitt, which is from Govan, which is near Glasgow, Scotland. My best friend's parents were from Glasgow, so if I need to repair and get something as authentic as possible, I would watch Robsy Nesbitt and get me back into the dialect to make sure it's, you know, as close as possible. But I always remember my reference was John Heaney when I grew up, and that upper lip never moved. Let me tell you this, Kevin and Carlos, you've got to say right now you're going to roast. You're going to roast. It's all based off the old Gaelic writing.
Carlos, I can't hear you right now. Can you hear me? Hello? I think I lost you. Can you guys hear Carlos? Is it just too loud out here? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? We'll disconnect and maybe try again. We'll try again. Hello. Take two. Hey guys, we're going live with Carlos Alazraqui. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty, but we are back, and hopefully we will be able to reconnect with Carlos. So can you guys give me a thumbs up or let me know if you can hear me? So glad to see everybody jumping back on. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Let's jump back on with. Yay. Okay. Earbuds are connected.
Hello.
Hi.
You can hear me
We're
now?
back. Yes.
We're back.
Yes. So yeah, hopefully that won't happen again. But if it does, we'll just jump off real quick and jump back on. I just wanted to make sure I posted that because there was so much good stuff in the first 3 minutes. I didn't want to lose it. So I'll go back and add captions later. But anyways, we're talking about the Scottish accent.
The Scottish dialect and the Spanish dialect, I'll go back and practice by watching stuff. Duolingo for Spanish I do every day. So, you know, me gusta la cartera roja. You know, so I make sure that I got the vowels right. And it's all about how you move your mouth to make sounds, to get the vowel sounds right. So if, you know, world in American English is like, it's all over the world, but it's Scottish, it's all over the world. And it's a visual, for all of us, I think it's a visual reference. If we get a visual reference of somebody doing a voice, it's how Jim Meskimen and Josh Robert Thompson and Ross Marquand and Melissa Villasenor, it's how they all do their impressions. They get that visual, I think, first. And then, you know, if you're going to do De Niro, it thinks you got to make the face. It helps, you know, it really helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I do Dr. Fauci, of course, I'm going to start from how I remember him, very small at the podium and deliberate, but it's his physical size that helps me to recreate that sound. So, yeah.
That's so interesting because also, you know, if you're starting with the physical, it kind of prevents you from getting in your head or overthinking different choices because you're coming from the movement.
Yeah, it's just a Zen thing. You're just into it. You're just pretending, right?
Yeah. Do you coach as well?
I do coach. I actually coach more on camera than I do voiceover. I don't have the curriculum per se, although I've gone 2 or 3 times to Voice Tracks West with Samantha Paris in Sausalito, California. And I've had fun coaching. And a drill that I've done in the classes is where I take 2 disparate types of actors, one really strong with characters and one really sort of more commercial VO. And I'll have them read the same commercial copy. But then what I'll do for the person that's not confident that they can come up with the characters, I'll go, imitate the other actor that you're just in the booth with doing that character that they just did, and do your best to do that person. And by doing that, they actually develop a character voice. And Billy West has famously always said that a bad impression of somebody is an original character. You know, Crocker is a mixture of a bad Richard Dreyfuss mixed with a Gene Wilder Sedative mixed with a Montgomery Burns. Yes, Smithers, all in good times. And so you mix it all together, Mother, fairies! It becomes its own character. So
that was so great. It's like a masterclass, a mini masterclass.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure you do some tricks as well. You see it, you feel it, you physicalize it, and you go, that voice reminds me of the lady that used to be working the cleaners or whatever, or my teacher. So I know where I'm going with this, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure
as
you
soon as you can anchor into somebody that you're familiar with, you know their energy, you can feel their energy, and you just it's just anchors you right in versus trying to get into it from like an intellectual standpoint with your pen and paper and making your notes and marking everything up. Sometimes I feel like it just gets me too in my head.
Yeah. I just did a session too where I had to pull back on the accent where I thought they liked it on the callback, and they're like, oh, pull back just a little bit. And that's where the voice acting comes in, is we know how to refine things on the spot. We're like studio musicians where they're like, okay, take this beat, speed it up, make it a backbeat, add the rhythm there, boom, refine it a little bit faster, and now go. And we're able to make decisions on the fly, you know?
Yeah, like vocal DJs, you know, like mix it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just spinning vocal records, character.
Yeah.
Records.
So many people saying hello to everybody out there that's a fan of both of us. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you for sure.
It is
Somebody
so
said
much more
Walden.
fun when people are on the live.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much.
Walden was another Australian character I did for Handy Manny. Oh, yes, my dino bones. Oh, Wobbsy, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've lost my dino bones. Yeah.
So great. Now, in addition to voice acting, you've also been on the screen. You've done quite a lot of on camera as well, perhaps most notably Reno 911.
Yeah.
What percentage would you say that works into your career? Is it 50% or is it?
There was a point where Reno, when we were filming the seasons en masse, was 50-50 at least. Yeah. And now it's on HBO Max, it's on Paramount Plus, it's on Roku. Yeah. Then another season is going to come out on Paramount Plus. We're about to film a little special for them. That's been announced. It's a little 44-minute movie. So that's nice. The gift that keeps on giving. But I would say a majority of my work now, outside of my film, which we'll talk about, has been voiceover and continues to be voiceover. And but I've done a bunch of I've done about 3 or 4 Adam Conover live stuff, and then it's cartoon as well. My preference is always it's relative to the project, you know, because you could be doing a voiceover thing where it's like a video game and you're chewing your voice up and you don't really you don't love the session. And you could be on set somewhere waiting around all day going, well, this was, but I don't know. I suppose I love them both the same, but again, it's relative to the project. Because there were days on Reno where we would be in the trailer all day, and then, all right, we just need you to do this little thing at the end of the day. Or there would be one where you'd get the whole bunch of scenes, and it's super fun. Yeah. So it just varies. But I love Rocko's Modern Life because that was my first, and Camp Laszlo because it was Joe Murray again, and it was Jeff Bennett, who's brilliant, was added to the cast, Steve Little, Jill Talley. But Rocko was I revere, but I love Fairly OddParents because Butch was just such a tough love dad, and you had Tara Strong, and you had Darren Norris and Suzanne Blakesley, and you had Gray Delisle, and then later on we had Kari Wahlgren and Eric Bausen, Kevin Michael Richardson, and Rob Paulson, and the cast would just grow. But I would sit there and watch Jeff Bennett do his Catman, and it was a dead-on Adam West, and I'm just cracking up about how brilliant this cast is, you know. And that was just fun. It's just like it's symphonic, right? You get a part of a group cast, and people are going nuts, and it's a beautiful thing. So,
did you guys have a lot of improv opportunity on that show?
We would riff, and Brooks would go, "That's very funny. Now I'll do it as written." All right, you know, he was always tough love, but he knew the character so well. He knew a line that would work or didn't work, but he would let me riff with Crocker for sure.
Yeah.
I'd always had a mother here, a girlfriend here. Mother! My cat, my girlfriend, my cat who's my girlfriend. Yeah. He would let Darren and Tara and Suzanne just go at it. You know, Gray, we'd all pitch in and riff a few lines, but he was a tough love guy, which was kind of fun because we knew he was. He liked to, bust your privates a little bit.
And so have you heard about, what are your thoughts on the newly announced Fairly OddParents live action reboot?
I texted Butch right away, Butch, if you need a Mr. Crocker, because unfortunately for the reboot with Drake in Hawaii, with Jason Alexander, they hired a Canadian actor who did quite well playing Crocker, but I was jealous. It's like, well, I created that character with Butch and I know how to play him. And I'm like, I don't know, this live version doesn't pick up with the Timmy Turner thing. It's a little different. But I said, if there's ever a Crocker, please just let me give me a shot at it, because I'm watching this clip, right? What was it? No, mother, quit talking about my prom. That was 35 years ago. And I'm like, wait a minute, 35 years ago? I could be Crocker. I'm the right age. And I look like him, and I know this character inside out. Just give me a shot to play him. But
you guys,
I'm sure whoever they get would be great.
We all need to just get on board and start tweeting that out.
I might have to start doing some live TikToks as a live Mr. Crocker. Going, yes, you've heard me on The Voice, but now I've come out. Wait, there's something in the bushes. I was picking up dog mess, and look what I found! Fairies!
You totally should. You could do some sketches.
Because it's weird, because you feel like Would you like to play one of your characters live? Which one of your characters would you like to play live?
Oh gosh, I think. Well, it would be really funny to play Little Miss Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think might more want to be Little Miss Naughty though. I think.
Little Miss Naughty.
Sometimes I just can't help myself. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what you get used to doing these voice characters. You make the most ridiculous faces, and then
Oh yeah.
you know, I don't know if they translate. You'd have to re-engineer the character a little bit. Sometimes I just can't help myself.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that could be
very
fun.
heavy on the eye makeup, big red lipstick, long fingernails.
Exactly.
But you know, speaking of voice actors on film, Tara Strong is Hard Cases in Toronto, and I made a film called Witness Infection. The log line is when a mob boss's son tries desperately to get out of an arranged marriage. Luckily, his friends in the zombie apocalypse are there to bail him out. And it stars Rob Belushi, who I met through Alison Bosch, and then I met in Rob's commercial acting workshop along with a really great improviser named Tim Stoltenberg. And a cast: Rob, Tara Strong, Aaron Hayes, Gary Anthony Williams, Maurice LaMarche, Joe Reitman, my friend Jill Michelle Melian, who co-wrote it, my buddy Vince Don Vito, Brett Ernst, who's on Cobra Kai, plays in the car dealership. And it was a great opportunity for me to be able to go, I know Tara can nail the part of Philomena. This Jersey girl was like, you leave him alone. You don't talk to me that way. And then Mo, we got to play Mr. Miola, who's kind of a soft, genial mob boss at 5 a.m. in Temecula, and just crushing the scenes. And it was just so fun to give voice actors an opportunity to be on camera and be on film. And you can get it on video on demand. You can go to witnessinfection.com to find out where it's playing, and you can buy it.
Somebody should type that in the comments, and we'll pin it so anybody joining in is able to go check it out. Yeah, so where did you get the idea to do this film?
I had always loved zombie films. I can't see myself, but it's okay. My keyboard's in the way, and I don't know how to get rid of it. I'm just gonna go hi. I'm gonna say hi, so this is just there. Hi. I just said hi to myself. I'd always loved zombie films. I love Shaun of the Dead. I always loved The Sopranos. Everybody knows that for Christopher. There's no better Gandolfini than Kevin Michael Richardson doing a Cleveland table read. You can YouTube that. My Bacalano, totally Christopher. Me and oh my gosh, what's his name from Angry Beavers? We used to do it all the time. Richard Horowitz. I tell you, T, you're breaking my balls here, Christopher. Hey, T, I'll go ahead and get some budget fresh. So I love the mob stuff. I love Shaun of the Dead and zombies. And I thought, I have this idea for a mob zombie film. And I called Jill Michelle Melian, who I met years ago as a comic. And we wrote it together, and we developed this story. It was more out here, but I think
I'm back. Sorry.
No, I think we're live.
Yeah.
So I had this idea. I shared it with Jill Michelle Melian. We came up with a script, and we wrote a story about two families on witness protection. They try to continue their rivalry. I introduced poison sausage from Tablioni's, and then everything goes to kaput. Forget about it. People start getting affected. People are biting each other. Oh, oofa, with a sausage.
And you guys have been doing the festival circuit.
Yeah, we have. We're actually going to be in October, provided we are able to maintain this streak of being healthy. We're going to be screening live at Shriekfest, LA Shriekfest in October.
Nice. Do you have a air date for that? Or
well, the date of the festival, I'm not sure yet. It will be mid to late October, but it'll be on my carlosalazraqui.com or on my Twitter, on my Instagram. We'll definitely announce it. Andy Palmer's our director, and it's a fun movie. I really recommend it. It's really fun, and it's great to see Mo on camera, Tara on camera. Gary Anthony Williams, of course, is always on camera and doing both. But it's a fun little film.
And so with casting, did you pretty much just because you'd worked with so many voice actors and those were the people you knew, you just went straight to them for casting?
Yeah, we cast it off our iPhones. We just said, I'm texting this person, I'm emailing this person. And we didn't go through a casting agent. We just cast it all ourselves.
I remember you were shooting that the day we did ADR on something. Was it Toy Story 4?
I think so, because it's
I think
2018.
so. Yeah. Okay,
2018.
so maybe it was actually Emoji movie.
I think it was
Toy
Emoji.
Story was like, and I remember, just how excited you were showing me some pictures of like the makeup from set.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Some behind the scenes stuff.
Great makeup by my buddy Jim Ojala, OjalaFilms.com. He's fantastic. And, I had met Aaron Hayes. I was on the pilot of Kevin Can Wait. I played Mr. Alvarez. I had a drinking problem. So I was down at Bethpage for 2 weeks I was in Bethpage for 2 weeks, and I met Aaron Hayes, and when she was not on the show anymore, I said, Aaron, I'm doing this movie. Would you like to play a character? And she was available, and we were lucky because she's so good. She's so good. So, yeah, it was a blast making it. It was something that I financed with my wife, myself. I was the producer. I was the writer. I was an actor.
Wow.
And it was just a labor of love, and it's out there, and people can see it. Yeah. People like it.
And what's next for the movie?
Hopefully, after video on demand, it gets to get picked up by Amazon, and it can stream on Netflix or Amazon or even iTunes for free. Maybe this festival will get some eyes and ears on it, and people say, "You guys got a sequel?" And we go, "Yeah, we got an idea." So who knows? Who knows what's next? Will I make my money back? I'm not sure, but unfortunately, we're doing okay, and I made it, and I made something happen. And that's sometimes we do that, right? We invest in things, and we just say, "Yeah, I'm going for it," and I'm proud of it. It's really good.
100%. I mean, that's really why we're here, isn't it? To express ourselves creatively and to share and hopefully affect people in a positive way, whether that's making people laugh or making them cry.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm very impressed with your ability to make that happen. So congratulations. Keep us posted. I would love to share any new news that you have about the movie. By the way, Fuzz Justin just shared the link as well as the Instagram. So everybody that's on this live, go and follow, and you'll get the latest info from them as well.
Witnessinfection.com.
Witness Infection.
Great trailer. And Jill Michelle Melian was instrumental in getting us Brett Ernst, and also the amazing Monique Coleman, who plays a real fun role in that movie. And it's a mix. It goes places where you don't think it's going to go, and it's a mixture of blaxploitation, Shaun of the Dead, mob, campy comedy, love story, but it all works. It all works.
Yay. Yeah. Well, you'll see me there in October. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, isn't your birthday on Tuesday?
My birthday is the 20th. So I think Kari Wahlgren was on the 13th, along with Tom Kenny.
Yay.
On the 13th. Lori Allen, I believe, is on the 20th.
It's next Tuesday.
So there are a lot of us cancer folks. I don't know what day it is. Let's see. Today is Wednesday the 14th. So you're right. Tuesday the 20th. I'm getting up there.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you very much. We're going to go to the LAFC soccer game this Saturday night because I'm a season ticket holder and I love football, as they call it. So we're going to go with a couple of friends. And then I may join Lori Allen for a little shindig that she's going to have on the 20th. And a big happy birthday to my... Yeah, we'll stop by. Birthday time. So yeah, it's I'll be working on my birthday too, because my agent said, "Do you want to work on your birthday?" And I'm like, "Yes, I would love that present of working on my birthday, please." As you know.
Funnily enough, Debbie Derryberry is my birthday twin.
Oh, good. When is your birthday?
Yeah.
When is
September 27th.
There you go. So we'll have to remember
September
that.
27th.
September 27th. Got it. Posted.
I think we got a little bit of a lag, but I think it's still okay.
Okay.
I'll try not to overlap you too much. But I did want to switch gears a little bit and just ask you if you could tell us anything about the new Rocko's Modern Life reboot for Nick.
Well, the new Rocko's Modern Life reboot, I think we recorded in 2016. We went to Comic-Con in 2017. And then it aired on Netflix in 2019. It's called Static Cling, and the original cast is back. We ended the original Rocko series with them floating in space, and we pick up from there where they get sucked back down to Earth, and it's an entirely, the 21st century is a very dangerous century. They get sucked down to the 21st century. The world has changed. There's iPhones, there's sports drinks. They want to see the fat heads again, and the fat heads no longer exist. So they have to go looking for Ralph Bighead so that Ralph Bighead can create the new fat heads. And they go off on this journey to find Ralph Bighead, and there's some surprises in there. And it's really, really well done. It's Charlie Adler, it's Tom Kenny, it's Mr. Lawrence, it's myself, it's Jill Talley, Steve Little, Linda Wallum, who was our original, the doctor with the hook. Oh my gosh, why am I forgetting her name? Kay! She came back to reprise her role. So it's the original cast. It's Joe Murray. It's really well done. It really, we had to kind of go back and see if the old band could still play the instruments again, and we did a good job. It's beautifully done. People really, really love it.
Was it exciting to be back in the room with those legends again?
Yeah, man. I always thought he was like an old rock and roll guy. I was like, yeah, he was like Pink Floyd coming together again for the No Excuses Hunger concert, right? Although we didn't have a Roger Waters getting mad at everybody, but it was like David Gilmour was there, Rick Wright, Nick Mason, we're all together again on stage and we're doing this thing again. It was lovely, right? We could still play. I remember the songs we used to play. It was like, that's what it felt like. And we were all these old seasoned rock musicians coming back together again. It was wonderful. Wonderful.
I love it. That's amazing. That's amazing. And you have a lot of other projects in production, stuff that you have a new series in production.
Yeah,
and a bunch of other projects. Can you talk about any of those ones?
I'm on the fabulous show, The Casa Grande. Are we good?
Ooh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm on the fabulous Nickelodeon show. We just did 100 episodes called The Casa Grandes with Isabella Alvarez, Alex Cáceres, Roxana Ortega, Ruben Garfia, Leah Gold, so many more. Sunil, Sumali Montano, Eugenio, Eugenio's last name from Mexico, a great comic. He's on the series, created by Miguel Puga and Lalo Alcaraz and a bunch of other people. And it's a great series. I play Carlos, who's the dad, and he knows everything about everything. You know, back in 1944, the Mayans actually, and I play a parrot named Sergio. Oh, por favor, don't do this to me again. Great. No more tacos. And then I played my favorite character is a guy named Vito Filipponio. And Vito is friends with Abuelito named Hector. And I just come by the store all the time, the bodega, and I go, hey, if you guys got any extra fruit that you're going to throw away, I wouldn't mind eating it. He's almost like Fauci. Vito's like almost like a Fauci. So I love playing Vito. I'm on a new series on Netflix called Trece, thanks to the amazing Eric Bauza, who recommended me to be a part of this Filipino comic book, come to life. And I play Anton Trece, who is the father of Alexis Trece. And I play San Telmo, who is the voice of this fire who comes out of the phone. Yes, you summon me. And they put effects on it, and it's beautiful. It's this beautiful graphic novel. It's called Trece, Trese. It's on Netflix. So happy to be a part of that. I got to be the voice for Miguelito because the original voice of Miguelito on Victor and Valentino decided that it would be more fair for someone with a Latin background to pursue this. And so I got an opportunity to, hey, hi, Victor, it's me, Miguelito. So I'm getting to recreate a voice that somebody already did on that. I'm on Camp Coral. I play a little character named Lobby. He's like, we don't get over there, Bob. And then I play this guy named Harvey. He's like, you guys, you are being invaded by aliens. I swear, this time it's real. So that's a fun character. I'm on Camp Coral. I get to do Lego City with Roger Craig Smith and with Jeff Bennett and with oh my gosh, she works at the Magic Castle. Why am I forgetting her name? She's wonderful. Misty Lee, a whole great cast. So I'm getting to be a part of a lot of fun things right now. I'm really lucky.
Amazing. Yeah.
Really lucky.
Yeah. And you're a producer.
And it's fun to work on.
Okay.
Huh?
Continue. Go back. Sorry.
No,
continue.
it's fun to be directed by Tom Kenny on Camp Coral because Tom has unbounded energy. It's like, and he gets every detail, every fish in the background that's like going, oh my God, So Tom will be, oh, okay, Carlos. The fish sees the giant coral and goes, then trips and goes, goo, and then goes, oh my God. Okay, so do it. And then like, he's so detailed and so energetic. You're like, Tom, it's 9 a.m. I can't keep up with you, you know? And he's done 3 shows at the farmer's market the night before. And it's incredible to work on that show. And but I'm sorry, you were talking about something else.
Oh, I was just going to switch gears, but I'm curious also, for you to continue just like with working with Tom and Camp Coral and your experience on that. How is it?
I just love it. Yeah.
Especially without Steven Hillenburg
Yeah.
being a part of the series.
Steven is the guy I met on Rocko. I met Steven Hillenburg in what 1992 in Studio City. That was where the original Nick Studios was on. Was pretty close to, I would say, Colfax and Riverside was the original Nick Studio. Then it moved to Vineland, and the person that was the receptionist was Maria Bamford. She was the receptionist at Nickelodeon. Oh, hi, how are you? Oh yeah, sure, I'll let them know you're here. And you're like, you knew that she was brilliant. And her first voiceover gig, I think, was with me on Cat Dog. She played one of the Graces, and she talked like this. And she was so not confident with her characters on that. And I'm like, Maria, you're brilliant. And of course, she is brilliant and she's amazing. But so to see these guys again, and we all missed what Steve Hillenburg brought to Rocko, what he brought to SpongeBob. And it's one of the sad things really is that you get these sort of diehard SpongeBob fans that are so accusatory of, this is not what Steven Hillenburg would have wanted. It's like, guys, Tom and Bill Fagerbakke and Doug Lawrence knew Steve and his family a lot closer than you did. Believe me, everything that's happening with these later versions of SpongeBob and these later versions of Camp Coral, of course Steve Hillenburg would have loved it. You think for a second how much love that Tom and I and Bill Fagerbakke and Roger Bumpus and Carolyn Lawrence and the directors and the producers have for Steve Hillenburg. Do you think for a second they know his wife, they know his son. Do you think for a second they would go against what he wanted? No, and it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate part of our business where people think they know. There's no way Steve Hillenburg, and it's just so sad. But because we're continuing what he brought. Of course Tom loves him and his family. Of course Bill. And so you guys, you have to say, this is where you got to like step back. We know you're fans, but you don't know the creator as well as Tom and Bill and Roger and Carolyn and Doug. So please just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. There can be 2 things can exist at the same time. You can have the original SpongeBob, the newer SpongeBob, the Patrick Show, Camp Coral. It's all because of this guy who started that I knew on Rocko's Modern Life, along with Dan Povenmire and Swampy Marsh, who created Phineas and Ferb. It's all part of Steve. It's still all Steve Hillenburg. It's still more than okay with his wife and his son and his family and the people closest to him. Believe me. Believe me, it is. I really encourage you to just enjoy it. It's wonderful and it's fantastic. That was a PSA I think I had to do because I guess in a sense, it hurts our feelings to think that we would do this, to think that the people that are putting this on, they're doing it out of love and out of really knowing who this person was, really knowing him on a personal level. So that's my big PSA for that.
Yeah, 100%. And I guess, if people watch a show long enough, maybe they feel like they have ownership for some reasons. And maybe in some way they do, but knowing that the show is only able to continue when the parties involved that have the copyright and have that, are agreeing. You can't just go renegade and try and make
and I
something
get
without
that
approval.
Right. I get that sense of having ownership over something or a familiarity that you think is real. I remember walking into LA Studios to do Phineas and Ferb for Swampy Marsh. And I walk in and I see this woman there, and I know her. I'm like, hey, how you doing? How's it going? And I look at her and I go, oh my God, that's Lucy Davis from the British Office, who played Dawn. And of course is now in the Teenage Witch, Sabrina, on Netflix. It's one of my guilty pleasures. And I thought I knew her.
Yeah.
I love the British Office. So familiar with her that I thought I knew her as a person. And of course I didn't. And I went, I don't know you, but I love your work, you know? And I'll tell you how I understand how people are fans of what we do and how it's such a big deal for them. We both know Fred Tatasciore and Dee Bradley Baker. Amazing voice actors.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there at Salami Studios lamenting the fact that I'm horrible at video games. And I say, the only game I know how to play, first-person shooter, first of all, Left 4 Dead 1, Vince Valenzuela from Seattle plays Francis in that. Blown away. So I tell Dee, and we're having a conversation with Dee and Fred. I go, I play Left 4 Dead 2. And Dee goes, you know I'm the spitter. And Fred goes, you know I play Boomer. And I'm like, no way! No way! Oh my God! You no way! And I fanboyed out. I totally, because I spent hours on this game. And I know Boomer. And I know the spitter and the Joker that jumps on your head and goes, and I'm like, of course it's Dee. Of course it's Fred. But I fanboyed out, and that's when it hit me that people really get invested in what we do because they spend so much time with us. One of the greatest compliments I get is from Spyro. I was the original Spyro. Me, Tom Kenny, Jess Harnell, and Elijah Wood, I believe. But I was the original Spyro. Hey, watch out for Nasty Nork. And people come up to me and go, you were my childhood. And I really didn't understand it until I understood how much I was a fan of Dee and Fred now for being in this game that I love. So I get it. I get that sense of ownership.
And do you have an all-time favorite character for you to voice?
That's a great question. You know, it has to be my first, which is Rocko, because it was just so germane to who I was. I was this innocent guy, and I really didn't know what I was doing voiceover-wise. And Charlie was this big, intimidating, oh, Rocko, I've been on Broadway and been doing voices for years. And so we were so green. I revere Rocko. I love, and I talked about this today. I just sent this to Justin. I do a series on Instagram called How I Came Up with a Voice. Which is, as you know, it's sort of a misnomer. It's usually collaborative. But one of the things I've enjoyed since 2001 is doing sounded like stuff for Mike Wazowski, because that presents its own challenge. You know, I got to play him in Kingdom Hearts 3 and a bunch of games. You know, because Billy Crystal has created this brilliant original vase that you're trying to replicate and get every detail right. And sometimes you nail it, and sometimes you're just off. But that's the challenge, right? To get people to believe that if they're playing Kingdom Hearts 3, that it's seamless for them. Like, you know, Raj, you're looking good today. Ah, Sully, watch out. That thing is coming for us. You know, that's our job. And so I love to be able to do that as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. So people can just make sure that they're following you on Instagram, and then you do this series from time to time.
Yeah.
Is it on TikTok too?
We put little clips of it on TikTok to get people to come over and see the full clips. So it's both and it lags behind a little bit. So I've done everything from the Taco Bell dog to Laszlo to Ricochet from Mucha Lucha. Yeah, I really enjoyed doing Billy Crystal. I love Crocker. I love Laszlo because he was so innocent. Yeah. Hey, Scoutmaster Lopez. And Clam was, the Taco Bell dog was so famous. Yo quiero Taco Bell. Viva Gorditas. I was on Hollywood Square sitting underneath Whoopi Goldberg and actually got to hear, I'll take Carlos Alazraqui for the block. You know, talk about surreal. You know, I met Sugar Ray Leonard on that show. So I've had, you know, but Rocko, when we got to make, you know, if I had to go back and if we could do one series again between Fairly OddParents and Rocko, I love them both. I think I would choose to do Rocko again because we need Rocko. Rocko's Winnie the Pooh. He's Hope Springs Eternal, right? Things are difficult, but we'll find a way around it. You know, he's so sweet. So, because Crocker's like out of his mind. Crocker's at an 11 all the time. Mother, leave me alone. Turner, don't talk to me, Turner. And I get exhausted. And Rocko has nuance, and he's sweet, and he's laid back. So, I love Rocko.
Yeah, sorry. Somebody's commenting that there's a lot of chirping going on over here. I know it's super loud. My birds are in the backyard.
Remember when COVID first hit and everybody truly was in lockdown?
Yeah.
The freeways weren't busy. How loud nature was?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's something we can...
Still pretty loud here.
Yeah.
Still pretty loud. Awesome. Well, I want to save time to take a few questions from the studio audience.
Sure.
Okay, we did, Brickman Mosaic, we did talk about Carlos's thoughts on the live action Fairly OddParents, which is, he'd make a fantastic Mr. Crocker.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Let me see. Let's see if I can... Okay. How was it being the voice of Monroe on Juniper Lee?
What a cartoon. Judd Winnick, who I met with William Morris in 1994. We did a cartoon of his, and I forgot, but I played a clown who said, use burn umber. Judd's from the Bay Area. He created this show, The Life and Times of Juniper Lee, Lara Jo Miller, Kath Susie. Oh my God, so many wonderful actors. I don't remember them all. But he wanted this guy Monroe, and it was more Billy Connolly. He's higher pitched than Duggard is from Dragon's Rescue Rider. So I knew Billy Connolly, and he was just curmudgeon-y. Juniper, I've told you 1,000 times not to check your wrist during school. And just lovely because it was so inventive, and there's monsters, and there's portals, and there's wonderful acting. And I love playing Monroe, and I love The Life and Times of Juniper Lee. It was so brilliant. I wish that would come back. So well done. And Judd, of course, wrote Hilo, the children's book series, of which if your son hasn't read Hilo, it's about a boy robot from space, and it's that whole Hilo series is so good. Judd's amazing.
Thank you for the tip. We'll have to check it out.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
It's funny. Piggybacking off that, Tamir had asked, you're known for your Scottish accents, but you're also good with an Irish accent. Now, they're easy to mix up. How do you distinguish them?
Well, oh God, there's an impressionist who does a spot-on Conor McGregor, but I'll do the typical Irish thing where I think Irish is more swallowed. So it's more, a little bit more sing-songy for me. And then you get the stereotypical Irish, which I get to play on Looney Tunes. All right, Rabbit, I know you're in there. Come on out for questioning. To me, Irish is more swallowed, as opposed to Scottish, which is less swallowed. It's more, Scottish to me is more guttural and then harder. So let me say a sentence in a Scottish accent. Let me buy you a drink. I suppose let me buy you a drink. Let me buy you a drink. Scottish for me is more back of the throat a little bit. More back of the throat, more swallowed. If I had to say in my unprofessional opinion, it's more swallowed. That is Scottish. That's how I differentiate.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Christopher Cora asked, how did you like doing American Dad? We didn't talk about your work on American Dad or Family Guy.
Yeah, Mr. Weed was a blast. Recently on Family Guy or American Dad, I just played Henderson. I played this guy from Arizona who plays the voice of this guy's consciousness. Or is he? Or could it be a ruse? But he talks like this. I'm Henderson. I think you remember me. So that's my most recent one. Smaller roles on that, but I was Mr. Weed on Family Guy. Peter, you're fired. And that was originally... Butch and Seth MacFarlane had come from, I think, Cow and Chicken and Hanna-Barbera stuff. And so Butch was playing Mr. Weed originally, and then they wanted a Spanish-Portuguese guy. I knew Linda Lamontagne from the San Francisco Comedy Competition, and we started skydiving together. We were going through our skydiving lessons. She stopped. I continued and skydived for 15 years. But I knew Linda, And so I came in for a general, and then I got to be a part of this Mr. Weed for Fox. Fox didn't pick it up, and then TNT picked it up, and I was part of that. No, reverse, and then Fox picked it up again. And I remember it was really high pressure for Seth MacFarlane because he had to get it right. So he was really overworked. It wasn't as enjoyable because he wasn't set yet. So, but it was great to be a part of that franchise. Peter, you're fired. I shall call you Eduardo. People really revere that character as well. So it happened so quick, and then he died, and then that was it. And then I came back for a little episode where they go back in time, and Mr. Weed is still alive. And they've kept me around. Catherine and Jackie have been really wonderful about bringing me in for smaller roles, and I continue to be a part of that. And it's awesome.
That is awesome. Wow. Okay, we talked about this is a great question, which is just, how does it feel to be a voice actor from popular cartoons that inspired people today from their childhood?
It feels great. You know, I would say the same. I get to meet June Foray and record a live reading of Rocky and Bullwinkle. Our doctor knew June Foray, and he brought me, Joe Alaskey, and Tom Kenny into his living room on a couch with June Foray. And so as much as she inspired me, it feels great that I'm able to be a person that can pass that on to somebody else. And hopefully they're a fan, and they might emulate what I've done. And because I continue to emulate what Billy West has done, what Jess Harnell, Rob, Tress McNeil. I remember doing the Animaniacs recently, and I jokingly said that this was my Make-A-Wish winning ticket, that I got to act with Jess and Tress and Rob Paulson in the same room. Mo was not there that day, but so yeah, we were all passing it on to each other. We all pass it down, and Tom Kenny, right, and Bill Fagerbacke and these guys. I'm lucky, Roger Bumpus, and we're just lucky to work with these people.
Oh, that is amazing. Well, I think we're about to wrap it up. We just have one more question for you, Carlos, which is a question I like to ask everybody, which is if there is a song in your heart, what would the name of that song be?
You got to keep trying, I think. You got to keep trying. You got to keep trying.
I love it.
You got to keep living. I don't know how it would go, but it would be sung by Michael Kiwanuka, who I really think is amazing. Yeah.
I think we could make that like a trending
or
song
the Black
on TikTok.
Pumas.
You gotta keep
the Black Pumas, who are also amazing. Eric Burton and Quesada. Adrian Quesada and Eric Burton. Yeah, there you go. Go see the Black Pumas.
Well,
got to keep on trying.
Got to keep on trying, yeah. And that's probably your advice to anybody out there who's aspiring voice actors as well, right? Got to keep on trying. Yeah, and we have people ask that question every week, and I tell people that everybody's story is different, how they got into voice acting, whether it was stand-up comedy or improv or radio, or however they found their way to use their voice to tell stories. Everybody's story is different, so you get to write your own.
Yeah,
you know?
I was an athlete growing up. Loved sports. I didn't do drama at all, and then I got sucked into stand-up comedy and mime, and off I went. And no professional training. And I, like you, I've been learning from day one when we stepped in and saw Charlie Adler tearing up that copy, and then working with Billy West and Dwight Schultz and Maria Bamford and Jim Cummings. I watched Tara Strong. I watched Gray Delisle. I watched Darren Norris. I watched Suzanne Blakely and Kari Wahlgren. I watched you. We're in looping groups. I watch how people work, and I pick up stuff. You never stop learning. I watched Tom Kenny, Doug Lawrence, Roger, Carolyn Lawrence. You watch, and you just see what they do that you're not doing, and go, wow, I didn't know that. That's awesome. I'm gonna do that now. So keep watching, keep learning.
Keep watching, keep learning. Carlos, thank you so much for spending your evening with us. And
you're welcome,
I'm so
Alicyn.
excited to check out everybody. Go ahead and follow @WitnessInfection. I mean, I'm sure you're probably already following Carlos, but and he's on TikTok as well, putting out some hilarious, amazing videos. Next week we have Richard Epcar, voice actor and voice director, is going to be our guest on the show. So I hope you guys come back for that, and make sure you're following me if you want. We do these every single week. So, yeah. Okay, Carlos. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Alicyn. That was great.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. See you next week. Bye.
See you next week. Bye.